right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to In the Paint. I'm Dan Tanner, your host, reacting to Clippers and Nuggets. We've got about just under 4 minutes to go left in this one, and the Nuggets have ballooned their lead up to 113 to 97. The big news, obviously, of the day and of this game is the return of Nikola Jokic. He is back, and he has been fantastic tonight. Even though he's on a minutes restriction, he is still putting up big-time numbers for this team. My goodness, is it great to see the big fella back for the Denver Nuggets. So going to watch along here for the final 3 minutes and 38 seconds and see if the Nuggets can close this thing out. Tim Hardaway's had a big second half. Bruce Brown's been productive. Peyton Watson just had a monster jam on a sick behind-the-back pass from Nikola Jokic. This has been incredible to watch the big fella come back tonight for the Denver Nuggets. So we will see if they can close this out. It's looking good right now. 113 to 97 is the score, and they're going to take a timeout. So, yeah, it was an interesting day. Obviously on the radio station, after the first segment of our show, which is on from noon to 3, we got the notification from Shams that Nikola Jokic was a go for tonight. Now, his tweet was a little vague in a sense that he's, I'd have to pull up his exact tweet, but he basically said it's likely that Joker was going to play. They were hoping that he was going to play. In fact, let me pull up Shams' tweet here. Okay, here it is. So this was from earlier today at right around like 12:15 local time. So Shams says Denver's Nikola Jokic, out since December 29th with a knee injury, plans to return tonight against the Clippers at home. Sources tell ESPN Jokic now is in position to also play in Sunday's showdown versus the Oklahoma City Thunder in Denver and be eligible for the season awards. So yeah, that was the tweet from Shams earlier today. And we just kind of spent all day speculating. We thought like, hey, I don't think Shams would put that out if he didn't have a pretty good idea that Nikola Jokic was a go tonight. The Nuggets earlier in the day listed him as questionable, and because you just never know. Things happen, and you never know if Joker has a setback or anything like that. Luckily, he did not. And I got to tell you, boy, he looks good moving around out there. I mean, he really, really does. I was concerned with how rusty Nikola was going to be going into tonight's game. There was a little rust early on, I thought. He did miss 3 consecutive free throws, but that's all that, that's the kind of stuff that Nikola Jokic will work through very quickly. I'm pretty confident in that. And it just makes such a difference, obviously, having him in there. It changes everything on the offensive end for this team. And we've seen more pick and rolls in this game tonight than all of the games that he missed, it seems like. And they're showing Serbian Heritage Night there at Ball Arena. So really, really cool to see Nikola Jokic return on Serbian Heritage Night. He's got 28 points, 7 of 10 shooting, 13 of 17 from the free throw line. So Joker is getting to the line. That's great to see as well. Like I said, he missed 3 consecutive free throws in the first half, but he's been knocking them down here in the second half. Yeah, he's 13 of 17 from the line, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, just 1 turnover. He's got 3 steals. He's a plus 11. So it has obviously just been phenomenal seeing Nikola Jokic back, and he looks as good as ever. It was great to see how good he just looked right away. I mean, his first stint, he had 9 points, and now Joker's taking a 3 and drills it. 116-98, 18-point lead for the Nuggets with 3 minutes and 10 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter. Yeah, it's been phenomenal to see Joker. Just everything changes on the offensive end for this team. They can run more pick and roll action. Everybody slots back into their roles when he's in there, and it's been great to have 2 bigs back in the lineup. Him and Jonas Valanciunas have been rotating all game long. Both are on minutes restrictions, but it's looking like they're both about to play right around 24 minutes each and play the whole game with their two bigs in there. Bruce Brown misses a three from the corner. Clippers did score on the other end, so it's a 16-point lead with 2.5 minutes to go. And the Clippers miss. Jokic gets another rebound. Not going to get a triple-double. It's not likely he's going to get a triple-double, but big double-double here for Nikola Jokic tonight. And Jamal Murray just throws up a prayer and it goes in. He thought he got fouled. Boy, there has been more complaining about the referees in this game than I think I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it is truly, Scott said it on the broadcast, and he's right. I'm really not a big complain about the refs kind of guy, but they've had a bad night. They've had a really bad night. They missed a take foul on Nikola Jokic in the first half, an obvious take foul where Zubac grabs Joker's arm. They don't call that. And then they call a take foul when Kawhi Leonard stops Nikola Jokic, but he got his hand on the ball. That shouldn't have been a take foul. So the refs have, they've had a bad night. All right, Nikola goes off the floor, and it looks like his night is over. What a return for Nikola Jokic, everybody. So Joker, I'm assuming he's done for the night, finishes with 31 points on a 8 of 11 from the field, super efficient, 2 of 3 from beyond the arc, 13 of 17 from the free throw line, 12 rebounds and 5 assists, just 1 turnover and 3 steals in 25 minutes. Incredible. 31 points in 25 minutes. Boy, is it good to have Nikola Jokic back. Final 2 minutes here. 118 to 102. Clippers have waved the white flag. They've got all their end of the bench guys in now, as do the Nuggets. Got Hunter Tyson in there. Zeke Naji, who just throws it down. There you go, Zeke. Everyone's getting involved. Man, they're showing the bench, and these guys are going crazy for that dunk. That's cool to see. Great win for the Nuggets. Clippers made a run in the third quarter, but the Nuggets struggled to start the third quarter. They started out 0 of 6 shooting in that third. I think they went like 5 straight minutes without making a field goal, but they caught fire in the last 5 or so minutes of that third quarter. As Julian Strawther gets called for a foul here. Tim Hardaway did look like he injured his ankle, unfortunately. He took a three-pointer earlier in this quarter, landed on the foot of a Clippers player, and it looked like he was kind of sitting in the back of the hallway, and they showed it on television. It looked like they were retaping the ankle that he turned or twisted. So hopefully THJ is okay. So the Clippers go to the line, hit 1 of 2. 1 minute, 15 seconds to go here in this one. And the Nuggets turn it over here. Minute 6 to go. 17-point game. This thing is over. They're showing Nikola Jokic on the bench right now, and there's a little kid trying to get his attention, waving at him. Oh, Joker just winked at him. That was awesome. You didn't see it for a while, and then you saw him, and that was great. And the Clippers get an and one here. 15-point game. You know, what was really cool to see tonight, too, is I've talked about this. One of the question marks I had or concerns I had when this team does start to get healthy, all of these guys that have been filling in for this team and stepping up their games, Peyton Watson, Jalen Pickett, even guys like Zeke Naji, were they going to be able to have that continued success? Really, it came down to Peyton Watson mostly for me because he has been so good during this injury stretch that the Nuggets have been going through really since the end of November. Boy, it looked like his role was basically the same role it's been over the last 16 games. He was super aggressive tonight, productive again. I hope that continues for Peyton Watson because he's such a talented player And this Nuggets team, even if they're fully healthy, they need Peyton Watson to do what he's been doing over the past couple of months while this team has been going through a very rough injury stretch. And the Clippers get another and one. It's 122 to 108, 25 seconds to go. Boy, the Clippers have had a fascinating season I'll get into here in just a second. Fascinating season. I haven't seen anything quite like what the Clippers have done so far this year. All right, and it looks like the Nuggets are just going to hold possession here. There's about 2 seconds different on the game clock and the shot clock. Yeah, Julian Strawther's just going to hold it here. Crowd rises to its feet. So cool. Tons of Serbian jerseys in the crowd at Ball Arena tonight on Serbian Heritage Night. So fitting that Nikola makes his return on Serbian Heritage Night. They did not plan that. That's just how it worked out. The irony in that is great. So the Clippers are about to fall to 22 and 25. And there's the horn. And the Nuggets win in Nikola Jokic's return. The big fella gets the victory after missing 16 consecutive games after injuring his knee in Miami. Thought he looked great tonight. That was awesome to see. His conditioning looked good. I mean, he only played 25 minutes, but never looked like he was exhausted out there. His touch on his shots seemed like they always do with Nikola Jokic, so that was great to see. And the celebration has begun. So cool to hear the news that Nikola Jokic was back tonight. You know, we had Adelman on our show, and I played the clip last night of David Adelman saying on our radio show yesterday that he expects Christian Brown, Cam Johnson, and Nikola Jokic all to be back before the All-Star break, which is about a week and a half away. Wasn't expecting Nikola Jokic to be back tonight. So that was awesome to see. Great news to hear. He looked awesome. Again, 31 points in just 25 minutes, 12 rebounds, got to the line 17 times, hit 13 of them. He was yelling at the referee to get him the ball faster when he was at the line towards the end of the fourth quarter when Brook Lopez was complaining about a foul. Man, I got to tell you, everybody in the NBA complains about foul calls. Like everybody does it. So it's hard to pick on particular players or a particular team. But if they gave an award out at the end of each NBA season for team that complains the most about the refs during the game, it's got to go to the LA Clippers. I mean, Brook Lopez complained non-stop tonight. James Harden, same thing. I've never seen a team that complains quite as much as these Clippers do. It is insane. But 122 to 109 is your final. The Nuggets improved to 33 and 16 on the season. They're now 14 and 9 at home, and they get the win in Nikola Jokic's return. Jamal Murray tonight, another really solid game from the Blue Arrow. He finished with 20 points in 36 minutes. Super efficient, 7 of 10 from the field, 4 of 5 from 3, and just 3 turnovers. So Joker and Murray combined for 4 turnovers. I love that. That's a great number there between those two. And Jamal poured in 9 assists. So 9 assists to 3 turnovers. You will take that every single time. In the pick and roll game between Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray, you almost forget how lethal that 2-man game is between them. And it's I would say right now it's probably the most unguardable play in basketball is the 2-man game between Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray. And one of the big differences that you could notice tonight versus the past 16 games, like I said earlier, they ran probably more pick and rolls tonight than they did the 16 games Nikola Jokic was out combined. But the problem that the Nuggets were running into when Joker was out, they would go into these lulls on offense and they would get into isolation basketball too often, and they just could not score the basketball when they would get into those lulls. Earlier on in games, they'd be moving around the court, moving the ball around, and you know, you forget how much of a cheat code the two-man game between Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray really is, because even when Joker's in there, they'll get into lulls like that where they kind of get into a little bit more isolation basketball. And I think that's when the Nuggets offense is at its worst. It's at its best when they're moving the ball, moving without the basketball, cutting to the rim, all that kind of stuff. But when they go into those lulls with Nikola Jokic, they can just flip that switch. Okay, well, let's go to the two-man game. And boom, there you go. Like, that's one of the biggest differences of having Nikola Jokic back on the offensive end. It really helps prevent this team from going into extended lulls on the offensive end, because they know they have that two-man game between Jokic and Murray in their back pocket whenever they need to go to it. And it's one of the most unguardable combos in the NBA. So it was great to see that back tonight too. It was very, very effective at times throughout this game. And the Nuggets their offense looked like the Nuggets again. You know, I mean, they scored 122 points tonight. I believe they were averaging right around like 110 when Joker was out. That's how much he means to this offense. And you all listening know that. But awesome win. And great to see Nikola Jokic back tonight. So in regards to the Clippers, okay, boy, have they had a very weird season. So the Clippers, first of all, they had some drama with Chris Paul to start the year. They basically kicked Chris Paul off the team when I believe they were in Miami. They sent him home and cut him. He was off the team, saying he was causing problems in the locker room, blowing up at coaches, at the front office, all this kind of stuff. All this drama was coming out of LA earlier on in the NBA season. And the Clippers started the season 6-21. I mean, their season was dead, toast, over. They started 6-21. Well, since they started 6-21 before tonight's game, they went 16-3 in their previous 19 games before tonight after starting 6-21. So the Clippers coming into Ball Arena tonight, they were the hottest team in the NBA coming into Ball Arena tonight. They've been on fire. 16-3 over their last 19 games, now 16-4. So this was no gimme game for the Nuggets tonight. I mean, you could look at the Clippers record. I think they're 22-25 now. Okay, not great. But if you look at the last 20 games, they've been one of the best teams in the NBA. Kawhi Leonard is playing at an all-star level again. James Harden's playing at an all-star level again. Zubac is a really underrated center. And he's actually I would say he's one of the only bigs that has given Nikola Jokic a little bit of trouble over the years defensively. Like, Zubac he's a massive human being. He's a brick house, and nobody can stop Nikola Jokic. But Zubac, we saw it in the playoff matchup last year with the Nuggets and the Clippers. Zubac at times can tend to bother Nikola Jokic a little bit. He's one of the only guys in the NBA that even has the ability to get Joker off of his game, even just a smidge. And he is one of those guys. So this is a really good team. John Collins, former Atlanta Hawk, high draft pick. He's developed a three-point shot. He was killing the Nuggets from the corner pretty much all game from three. And then Chris Dunn, who I believe was the pick right before Jamal Murray in the 2016 NBA draft. He was pick number 6, I believe, by Minnesota. And then the Nuggets selected Jamal Murray with the 7th overall pick in that draft. He's kind of bounced around the league. He's kind of turned into more of a defensive specialist, but he's a good defender, good player. Their starting lineup is formidable. So this is don't just look at the Clippers record and say, oh, this was a gimme game, or the Nuggets should have won this one. The Clippers were favored by 2.5 points coming into tonight's game, even after the news that Nikola Jokic was playing came out. So this was not a gimme game by any means for the Nuggets. I know it was at home, where the Nuggets have surprisingly actually kind of struggled this year. But yeah, this was a fantastic win. Nikola Jokic is it was so good. I was very curious to see how he was moving around the court tonight to see if there was any sort of limitations on just his movement. I got to tell you, he looked like the exact same Nikola Jokic that we've seen over the last decade. So that was very, very encouraging to see Nikola Jokic moving like it seemingly, seems like he always does. And I thought he looked fantastic. That was absolutely great to see. All right, we're going to hear from David Adelman here when he's up. But in the meantime, I want to get to some of your comments, thoughts on the game. What'd you think of Joker being back? And just great win tonight for the Nuggets. Here's Rico Suave. Appreciate you, Al. Jokic is back. Great first game back. They appreciate it, Marion. Return of the Joker. That's what I'm talking about. This is a good one right here from Sam Breeze. Jokic looks like he didn't miss a game. You know what? That's how I felt too watching the game. I swear to God. It's like, oh wow. If you would have just been on another planet for the past 16 games, had no idea Jokic was out, and watched this game tonight, you wouldn't have thought anything of it. You know what except for the minutes. You'd say, why the hell is Nikola Jokic only playing 25 minutes? That was it. I mean, really, other than the minutes restriction, it looked like business as usual for Nikola Jokic. So great point there from Sam. Appreciate that. Let's see here. Feels good to have Yoke. Yeah, everybody's pumped up about this. Boy, I got to tell you, the mood at the radio station today when we got the news that the tweet from Shams that Joker was a go for tonight, it was like Christmas Day. I mean, really, it just everybody's mood was lifted. Everybody's spirits were up. Had a bunch of people jumping on the digital to hear us talking about Joker. We had Vic on, we had Chris Dempsey on, we had Katie Wingy on, all to talk about the return of Nikola Jokic. And I was also thinking about this during the game. You know, there's that famous saying, you don't know what you got till it's gone. I never felt that the whole time Nikola Jokic was out. I was like, no, I know exactly what they're missing and exactly what we have in Nikola Jokic. But it is a good little reminder, I guess, in a sense, because Joker's been so durable throughout his career. This is the most consecutive games he's missed in his career, like by a lot, actually. I don't know what the previous record was. I want to say it was like maybe 7 or 8 max, and he missed 16. But it does, at least for me, helps you appreciate Nikola Jokic that much more in everything he does for this basketball team. By the way, I've been complaining about the rebounding over the last 16 games. Not complaining, just pointing out that it was a big issue, especially when Jonas Valanciunas and Nikola Jokic were both out. Rightfully so. I mean, there were many games where the Nuggets' tallest player, their center, air quotes, on the court was 6'9". And I believe they got out rebounded in 12 of the 16 games that Nikola Jokic missed. 12 of 16 games, they got out rebounded badly. And let me pull up the rebounds here for tonight. The Nuggets won the rebound battle 43-34 tonight. And in fact, I believe in the first half, it was 28-15. The Nuggets won the rebound battle. So that's another area where you're just like, oh yeah, you forget how important it is to have those big fellas down low gobbling up rebounds. The Clippers, they've got some big old boys on that team. Ivica Zubac and Brook Lopez are massive human beings. So this was not an easy first game back for Nikola Jokic. I mean, he had to bang bodies with some big dudes down low in the post, and he looked just fine while doing that. I mean, again, that's one area where it's like, oh yeah, that's kind of what you forget that they're really missing right now is Nikola Jokic, Jonas Valanciunas going up against the big boys for the Clippers and winning that rebound battle significantly. So that was great to see as well. All right, we'll get to some more of your comments here before I get to David Adelman. Just waiting for him to speak. In fact, let me just check on that real quick just to make sure he hasn't already talked. I don't believe he has. I'm really interested to hear what Adelman's thoughts were tonight. Boy, like I said, rightfully so. Adelman and Ty Lue, the head coach of the Clippers, they looked very frustrated throughout the game with the refereeing. And again, I really try to stay away from being the blame the referees guy. I think that's kind of a lame take, to be honest with you. Sometimes it's warranted. Okay, I'm not saying you can never complain about the referees. Sometimes they make bad calls. But tonight, my goodness, they had a bad night. The refs had a really, really bad night both ways. I mean, there were some calls on the Clippers that I was like, you got to be kidding me. I can't believe they called that a foul. So it was just, not a good night for the Zebras down at Ball Arena tonight. All right, Adelman has not talked yet. We'll get to him as soon as he gets going. This is funny. Sam's talking about Katie's outfit. It was so funny because I don't know if you all saw the suit that Joker was wearing on the bench last night. Her skirt literally looked like the jacket that Nikola Jokic was wearing on the bench last night. I got to ask Katie that. I'm like, did she do that on purpose? Smart move if she did. I noticed that too. I'm like, oh my God, that's literally the exact same looking. It was just obviously not a jacket. It was the skirt she was wearing, and it looked exactly like the jacket that Nikola Jokic was wearing last night. So I thought that was funny. All right, here's another one from Sam. I missed watching that guy play basketball. Don't get me wrong. I've enjoyed watching the Nuggets, but Jokic is something else. Yeah, it's I'll just tell you this real quick. So I'm still doing the postgame show Sunday. I'll be live at Ball Arena, but I'm actually taking a buddy of mine to the game. I got tickets to go to the game, and he's never seen Nikola Jokic play live. And, I've been very fortunate. I've been covering Nikola Jokic basically his entire career, which has truly been a blessing for me and everybody that covers this team. We realize, just how special this is and how awesome it is to get to cover a guy on a daily basis like Nikola Jokic. But yeah, it's Joker doesn't just obviously make the Nuggets a much better basketball team. That's another great point, Sam. Like, Joker is so fun to watch, whether it's on television or in person. I would say in person is a little more, you get the full scope of the picture of what he's actually doing out there. But I remember early on in Nikola Jokic's career, before he really became a household name, okay, I think we here in Denver knew how good he was and knew what we had in Nikola Jokic. Maybe not to the extent of 3-time MVP. If he wins a couple more titles, could be in the conversation for one of the best players in NBA history. Okay, if you tell me that you knew that in year 2 from Joker, I will not believe you. But early on, I was like, oh man, this guy is pretty damn good. Like all-star good. I didn't know he was going to be the best player in the world. But you could see he had significant potential early on in his career. And I remember a lot of the national media early on in Joker's career would criticize the Nuggets for being boring, criticizing Nikola Jokic for being boring to watch. And I was just like, then you're not watching the Nuggets very much. Nikola Jokic, they're like, oh, we like the guys that can jump out of the gym and monstrous dunks, play above the rim, sharp shooting threes. Nikola Jokic is one of the most fascinating basketball players I've ever seen play the game. His style of play. I mean, it really is. Even early on in his career, the passes he makes, the way he reads the floor, the way he directs his and orchestrates the offense. I never understood that. That never made sense to me because I've always said, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Nikola Jokic is truly one of the most fascinating basketball players I've ever seen play and one of the most entertaining basketball players I've ever seen play. It really was just, it was mind-blowing to hear the national media say that about Nikola Jokic early on. You don't hear that now. Okay, Adelman is up. So let's go ahead and listen to the head coach here. Let me share my screen real quick. And we'll get the head coach of the Denver Nuggets, his thoughts on the game tonight.
at the end. I got to get him out. At the most, he probably would have played 3 more minutes, maybe. Just trying to balance as best we can with the information that's been given to us. But obviously, he was very impactful. He's incredible. But yeah, no, not just him. Jonas, Jamal went a little above where I wanted to get him, but that's just how it's been lately. But for the most part, happy with the minutes for all those guys. I thought they played well enough for me to keep it at a good place. And then I thought the second unit, especially in the first half, did a great job of keeping the lead where it was at. In the second half, I had to come back with those guys a little bit earlier, which is okay because of the first half. It just kind of worked itself out.
You said ideally if it was 24 for Joker and 24 for Jonas, that would be the best world. Are you thinking about them for the time being as kind of the same person and splitting up like that?
Yeah, I mean, and obviously the game will demand something different. It'll be how they're feeling, their communication with me, Dan Sheminsky and Steve, where they're at. I just have to be in constant communication with people. I keep saying this, but a 4-minute run, well, every 4 minutes is completely different than the last. There's physical 4 minutes, there's no fouls called, nothing called, and you're just getting up and down, constantly. So just have to read the game as best I can. And then, like I said, those guys have to be adults and communicate where they're at and be unselfish. If I put you in, I take you right back out to try to balance this whole thing out.
Is there a Jokic skill set that you found yourself thinking you missed the most as you were watching him in this game?
The passing obviously is incredible. And I would say the rebounding, not having Jonas and Nikola during that whole stretch was just, it made it really tough. And the guys were giving great effort, but, they have 16 combined tonight against a team that's crashing, a team with Zubats who averages 4 a game. That impact. And it's one of those things where it's just about possessing the ball. And that's why the defensive rebound is so important. You just give yourself so many more opportunities to score. And with our team, the way we shoot it, 16 to 28 from 3, and I thought Jamal, so underrated tonight. They were up in pick and rolls. He got off the ball. He was clean. He had 9 assists. If you want to look back at the tape, he's probably responsible for 20 of the next pass to a wide open 3. And obviously it's Nikola in the pocket. So all those things are things we didn't have. But yeah, it's special to have Yoke back in all the ways that he is the best basketball player in the world.
Coach, any indication on the status of Tim Hardaway when he went out?
I just talked to him. He tweaked his ankle. Obviously they'll look at it. Right now he's jacked up. So he was talking about Sunday and how excited he was to play, but we'll definitely take a look at him tomorrow.
Interesting.
Sunday morning, make a good decision for him. As you guys know, what Tim has done this season has been incredible. So again, 22 points, a plus 10, just spread the floor, plays with aggression. We have to take care of Tim. He's so important to our team and our rotation.
That felt like a pretty awesome Spencer game. Just in terms of how much he was hustling, diving for loose balls. What did you see from him?
Yeah, exactly. Created extra possessions for us. The 6 rebounds, guarded both of their all-star players, Hall of Fame players. Did a really nice job. Thought he got much more discipline after the first foul of keeping his hands off of them. Sometimes they make contact and they get the whistle. It's just the way it is. And that's how the NBA is. But no, Spence he's such a glue guy. And I talked about Hunter the other night and his impact. Spence plays 35 minutes, has 4 points, but that's not the point. It's what he does, for the other guys. So the way he screens and cuts and spaces, he's just a solid basketball player, a guy you'd love to play pickup with. So yeah, Spence was great.
All right, there he is, head coach David Adelman. After the Nuggets get the 122-109 win over the LA Clippers in Nikola Jokic's return from injury. He missed the previous 16 games. The Nuggets will go 10-6 in that stretch, which I still find incredible that they were able to do that. That was great to see. But interesting couple of comments there from Adelman. First, how about Hardaway just telling him hey, I can't wait for Sunday. We'll see what happens. And I hope he can play because he has shown just how valuable he is to this team. Obviously, he was great again tonight. Boy, his 3-ball, when it gets cooking, he's a lightning rod out there. He's a weapon for this team. When he gets going like that, he's a guy that can shoot this team back into games or balloon a small lead into a big lead. I mean, that's what Tim Hardaway can do for the Denver Nuggets. So sounded like Tim was pretty optimistic. Obviously he's got the adrenaline going right now and they're going to have to get it checked out, but hopefully it was just a minor tweak of his ankle and he'll be good to go for Sunday in what will be the biggest game of the year. The Nuggets' first game this season. I cannot believe they haven't played the Oklahoma City Thunder yet, but they will for the first time coming up on Sunday. Nikola Jokic, I expect him to play in that game as well. And then also just right there, you're always curious when you hear minutes restriction, you don't know. They never tell you what exactly that minute limit is. And tonight, obviously, Adelman said before the game, Joker will play, but he'll be on a minutes restriction. And he played 25 minutes tonight, and he said, I could have played him 2 or 3 more minutes. So, okay. Is it 28 minutes is the minute restriction for Nikola Jokic? And, obviously you heard D-Mac ask him there too. Is the plan to try to play Val and Joker right around 24 minutes each? There's your 48 minutes. Now, if they go to overtime in any of these games, that'll be a big question to be answered. But for the time being, just in regulation, how will these minutes divvy out between Jonas Valanciunas and Nikola Jokic? So Big Val played 21 minutes tonight and Nikola played 25. So it's pretty good even spread divvying out of those minutes there between the big fellas. And again, Jonas Valanciunas is also still on a minutes restriction after coming back from his calf injury. So look, I've really liked how Adelman has handled this injury situation. I've really liked how he's handled guys coming back from injury, not overworking them. That's something that I still hope they're very cautious with Nikola for the next couple of weeks, at least until before the All-Star break. And who knows, after the All-Star break, Nikola is a full go. I mean, we'll see what happens. But the way that Adelman has been handling these guys' minutes and workload coming back from injury, I think has been fantastic. And then, he mentioned Spencer Jones there. I thought Spencer Jones was outstanding tonight. I mean, he only scored 4 points, but the hustle play he had, I believe that was early in the fourth quarter. I think it was Peyton Watson knocked the ball out of Harden's hand. I could be wrong on that, but all I know is James Harden is like jogging back to go get that basketball, goes all the way on the other end of the court. Spencer Jones is literally sprinting to the ball, beats James Harden to the ball, saves it, and gets a layup. I mean, those are the kind of plays that keeps you around in the NBA for a long time. Those kind of hustle effort plays, those are winning basketball plays. And I'd have to check the amount of games Spencer's at. I know we're getting very close to the 50-game limit to where the Nuggets will have to either sign him to the 15-man roster or send him back down to Grand Rapids. They're not sending him back down to Grand Rapids. I would be absolutely shocked if they did that. Now, Adelman did say on our show yesterday that they might have to sit him for a couple of games just for logistical reasons and kind of figure out exactly what they want to do with the roster and how they want to construct it and the moves they make and all that stuff. That's above my pay grade. But I got to tell you, even when this team starts getting healthy again, they have got to carve out minutes for Spencer Jones in some sort of role. Maybe it's even off the bench. I mean, I don't know, but he's been Adelman just said it right there. He's been a glue guy. He's a guy you want to play pickup games with. And he's a guy that he's trying to earn a spot on a regular roster in the NBA, and he's hustling his ass off. He's defending James Harden tonight. He's defending Kawhi Leonard tonight. This guy has become a very, very valuable piece for the Nuggets, and I hope that they are able to carve out minutes for him moving forward because he has just been absolutely tremendous. All right, a couple more of your comments here. Marion, I enjoy Ty Lue losing. I do too. Appreciate that. Boom, the man is back. God, everyone's so stoked Joker's back. It's just been an amazing day. Everyone's so jacked up. I love it. Kevin, how you doing, man? Appreciate you listening. Yeah, Joker, best player in the world, obviously. Boy, it was funny. They were talking on the pregame show, giving out stat lines for Nikola. What do you think Joker's numbers look like tonight? Scott was super confident. He's like 32 points, 16 rebounds, 12 assists. I don't care if he's on a minutes restriction. Well, he got pretty close to that, and a lot of the other people on altitude were like, hold on, let's settle down. His first game back. And Scott's like, but he's like, I understand that, but also it's Nikola Jokic, okay? And he had 31 points tonight, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, just 1 turnover, 3 steals. He was a plus 11, 8 of 11 shooting, super efficient, 2 of 3 from 3. Took a step back 3 early on in the first quarter, drilled it. Okay. So, wow, what a return for Nikola Jokic. That was great to see. He looked awesome. Looked like he hasn't missed a beat. And we'll see how he looks on Sunday. Might be a little sore tomorrow. We'll see. But as far as I know, they have full plans to play him on Sunday, and they're going to need him because they've got the defending NBA champions coming into town with the best record in the NBA. Although OKC, for as hot of a start as they've gotten off to, fallen off just a little bit. They're 6-4 over their last 10. They did lose their last game. They're 38-11 on the season. By the way, the Nuggets are now tied with the Spurs for second place in the Western Conference. Now, the Spurs do have 2 games in hand, so they do have 1 fewer losses than the Nuggets do. The Nuggets have 1 more win than the Spurs do, so that could change, over the next couple of days. But boy, the fact that the Nuggets started the 16-game stretch with Nikola Jokic out in 3rd place in the Western Conference, and the day he returns, they're still the 3 seed in the West, is a remarkable achievement for this basketball team. I mean, wow, that is incredible to see what they were able to do there. They've got a 2.5-game lead on the Houston Rockets, 3-game lead on the Lakers and the Suns, and Minnesota. Wow. So yeah, the West is tight, and that's what made me so nervous about this stretch with all the injuries. You go on a 3, 4, 5-game losing streak, and you're falling from the 3 seed to the 8 seed. I mean, that was a real possibility while Nikola Jokic was out. So the fact that they were able to stay in the 3 seed where they started when Nikola Jokic initially got hurt in Miami is just, like I said, a remarkable achievement for this basketball team. And hey, it's go time. I know Cam's not back yet. I know Christian's not back yet. I know Aaron Gordon's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. He'll be reevaluated in 4 to 6 weeks. But they've got the big fella back. They're rolling. They've got depth on this team. And let's go. We've got the Thunder coming into town Sunday. That should be an outstanding game. All right, everybody. Appreciate you listening. That's going to do it for the post-game show tonight. And we'll be back on Sunday night to react to Nuggets and Thunder right here on In the Paint. Catch you then.